Namaskar, welcome back to Media Scan. We are here with your weekend dose of headlines, controversies and perspectives. Viewers, every new technology comes with its own share of challenges. So also, the very scary new challenge of deepfakes enabled by artificial intelligence. The Prime Minister has cautioned the country about this new problem. And let us be aware that it is not only celebrities, big names or politicians who are going to be affected by it. It is common people like me and you who have to face this challenge, and therefore it is necessary to understand how to deal with it, how serious is the problem, and how can we contribute in not spreading this problem further. To understand this very complex issue, I have a panel of experts on the subject who will be able to tell us in a clear manner and help us understand what this new challenge is, how should we deal with it. Let me introduce to you Colonel S. Pavitran, a veteran who has been working on the challenges related to technology for a very long time. He is the right person to tell us how and in what manner we can meet with this challenge and create awareness, etc. Also here with me, SP Vaid, well-known top cop, has been leading the police forces in Jammu Kashmir. I have had the fun and the opportunity to cover him as a young dynamic officer in various districts of Jammu Kashmir. Welcome back to Media Scan, SP Vaid.
Thank you.
And also here with me, an expert on cyber laws, cyber affairs, issues related to technology, Subimal Bhattacharjee. You have been listening to him on Media Scan on earlier occasions. We are happy to have him back on the show on this very complex issue. Welcome back, Subimal Bhattacharjee.
Thank you very much, Smitaji.
So those are the experts on the show who are going to take us through the subject with their own expertise and experience. But before that, let us just listen quickly to how the Prime Minister raised this issue and cautioned citizens about the dangers of deep fakes enabled with artificial intelligence.
आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस कैसे काम कर रहा है, डीप फेक क्या कर सकता है और कितना बड़ा संकट पैदा कर सकता है, और उसमें जो चाहे वो बना सकते हैं जी। मैंने अभी एक वीडियो देखा जिसमें मैं गरबे गा रहा हूं और मैं खुद भी देख रहा क्या बढ़िया बना है जबकि मैं स्कूल एज के बाद कभी मौका नहीं मिला मुझे। मैं स्कूल में बहुत अच्छा खेलता था, गरबे बहुत ही अच्छा खेलता था, लेकिन बाद में कभी मौका नहीं मिला। लेकिन अभी जैसे आज ही बनाया हुआ ऐसा वीडियो, ये आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की ताकत है कि उसने बना के रख दिया है और चल रहा है।
Colonel Pavitran, since you are joining the show for the first time, I would like to come to you first. Welcome to the show, and my first question comes directly to you. Why and how do you think, in what manner does deepfake affect or can affect the lives of common citizens like us, leave alone the celebrities and people who are in the media or they are well-known names? I'm talking of very common people on the street. How can he or she be affected by this new challenge?
Okay, thank you for getting me on the show. Deepfakes are particularly insidious for the common man because they take away our sense of trust in society. The human being has evolved in multiple ways to trust visual and audio cues. Now, the day when these deepfakes are generated and there is a mass-scale explosion of deepfakes where it is used for crimes, for political sabotage, etc., the common citizen starts losing trust in what he hears and what he senses.
Yes.
This has got multiple implications, especially in a democracy where the political process is primarily governed through information which we consume, whether it be visual, whether it be audio. We all make our decisions on particular political leaders, party manifestos, etc., by what we hear and see. That undermining that particular, confidence has immense damage potential for the society and the nation which we have built. So that's first off my point.
So the natural corollary to your comment is my next question comes to you again very quickly, sir. Does it also mean that apart from, you know, the danger of a deep fake, it also creates a trust deficit about something which is genuine? I mean, every video then will become suspect, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Every video becomes suspect. And you also have something like, whether it's a genuine or whether it's a deep fake video, people will not be able to fully ascertain. And that leads to a total trust deficit and collapse of the society which we have evolved in.
Right, right. I'll come back to you on that society issue, about how the society, you know, should rise up to this new challenge and how it can be done. But coming to SP Vad first, sir, just want to know quickly from you, you have been handling law and order in one of, I mean, the most sensitive region of the country for all your career. I want to understand from you, sir, you must have been following the kind of the deep fakes that are emerging. Not even the Prime Minister was spared. So the question arises from a totally law and order perspective, how can this challenge of deep fakes become a challenge or a problem in handling the law and order of a particular region? And how can our law enforcing agencies, our mechanism, rise up to this new problem?
Namaskar. In fact, the Prime Minister was very right in cautioning people that we must be very, very careful and educated of what kind of technology is coming. See, AI, like any other technology, have both positive and negative.
Yes.
It is an immense power in the hands of investigating agencies as for a faster investigation, for preventing crime, for detection of crime. So many advantages are there. But it has, if it lands in the wrong hands, it could be very, very disastrous, very dangerous. As Colonel Saab was saying, the very edifice of a democracy gets challenged. We have, you know, general tendency of believing what we see, and video evidence used to be one of the important pillars of investigating evidence we used to produce. In fact, if we had a video evidence, we would like to present before the honorable court as an evidence. But
Correct.
today the very trust of video evidence is challenged, and I think that poses a big challenge to the investigating agencies. And as far as general public is concerned, imagine if a girl or a lady, what Prime Minister was mentioning about himself, that he has not participated or done Garba anywhere in his lifetime. And look, somebody looking like Mr. Narendra Modi being shown, this kind of technology could be used to damage the whole life's reputation of a girl or a woman if it lands in the hand of a person who wants to tarnish somebody's whole life.
Correct.
Similarly,
what our film stars, models, and other celebrities are facing, I mean, you know, it can't stop common people from becoming prey to the same thing. Anybody would try to, you know, have a grudge against someone and completely tarnish the reputation of a man or a woman.
Absolutely. Celebrities are going to be the big target, but it's a challenge to even local common person of this country. And who do you believe? That would be a paradox for every citizen.
Right, sir. Got your point taken, sir. Allow me to come to Subimal Bhattacharjee quickly. Before I come back to you about, you know, how ready our forces are for this new, the sudden new challenge that has emerged. Subimal Bhattacharjee, you know, the new IT laws at 2000 that we've all been following, and we've had a long discussions with you on that. It very much says that such deep fakes, such false videos are an offense, and there is also provision for a good amount of penalty for it. But, you know, do you think the laws at present are actually equipped enough to tackle this challenge from your experience?
No, definitely the laws are capable enough to deal with the situation, because if you take the IT Act 2000 and the rules related to the Act, and more specifically the IT rules that were specified in April this year, it is absolutely that possible to tackle misinformation that is posted by any user on the platforms or the intermediaries networks. Then if reported by any user of the government and misinformation is has to be removed within 36 hours, that is also very clearly there.
Right.
And then if platforms do not comply, then they lose the safe harbor under Section 79 of the Act, that is given to the intermediary. So the laws are adequate. The question is that this kind of content that is created, they almost seem to be true, because the manipulation happens at many levels, whether it is an image, whether it is audio, whether it is video. And very many times by the time you are actually applying the law and taking them down and everything, much damage is already done, and particularly in a sensitive country like India on many fronts.
Mr. Bhattacharjee, just quickly, sir, taking a cue from what you've just raised, I was trying to speak with some experts on the subject, and they told me that earlier it was at least possible for a common person, a common consumer like us, to try to, there are some parameters through which we can make out whether a video is fake or it is genuine. But nowadays with AI, it has become, so kind of foolproof, if I may use the term, that it is almost impossible without any technical support to make out what is fake and what is not. So how do you suggest people should, should be able to understand if they are being played?
Well, I think it's a very difficult thing for people to really understand almost precisely every time that such a content is false. And that's where, our regulations have been very well placed, that if a user or if the government notifies the platform through which such content is floating, then there has to be action on the part of the platform provider. So, so the least damage that you can do in the shortest possible time, that recourse has been given in terms of the regulation. But I don't think at any stage, ordinary citizens can really understand what is fake and what is true, because
okay, so I think that's quite sort of scary, if I may say. It's very ominous. So before I come to the next question, let us quickly listen in to what Vice President of India shared his concerns while he was addressing people on the National Press Day event earlier this week.
This is one technology in respect of which concerns have been raised from the top in technological world for regulation. But one thing is certain, it will stay with us. We have to adapt, regulate, and deal with it.
So coming back to Colonel Pavitran, sir, you are a war veteran. You have dealt with much larger challenges, I'm sure. But, my question is coming a little away from what we talked about common citizens. I want to know, these deep fakes, forget about tarnishing the image of a celebrity, etc. It can even become a cause of, it can create a lot of problems within nations at the global stage. So from the national security point of view, how do you see this challenge?
Okay, from the point of legal this, firstly you have to understand our constitution applies only to Indian territory. What do you do if someone creates deepfakes from some, one of the 140 nations in some place? What is that 36-hour time frame going to do? How can you prevent, damage? Damage in an election can happen in the last, even 24 hours. So if it happens 2 days before, will they only need to remove it only after 36 hours? There are multiple challenges here. Today, elections, etc., are highly contested space with international ramifications. And that's precisely, I think, why the Prime Minister senses this. And he, being a political man, will immediately understand the danger of, deepfake generative technology. All politicians will be highly sensitive to this. whichever politician I've seen, they're very, very particular about their images, which they nurture for decades together before they gain national acceptance. All this can be destroyed overnight, and human beings have got a bias. Whatever is initially seen and believed, it's very difficult once a person accepts this to get rid of it. Doubt will always remain. Okay, so there
what
are
do you
multiple
propose?
challenges here.
Even if one comes to know such a X or Y video is fake, but by that time, it's gone so far, and in fact, the Prime Minister was, very pointedly, he said that he spoke to the Chat GPT about his Garba video not being a real one, and they said, we know, but then how do we stop it now? So this either stop removing it, and secondly, even if it is removed, the question about removing it from the memory once it's been consumed by so many people, what do you propose? How can this awareness be, created?
So the awareness has to be from education. There is no doubt about it. But here, let me give you a certain, push your imagination a little bit about the inherent dangers. Now, the contest is it genuine or fake? Who is going to decide this? Okay, they say it's it's like a robber and police game, which will happen between two sides, where they will have detection technologies, and there'll be further technologies to fool that particular detection algorithm. Okay, but the question is, finally, who will be the arbiter of what is truth?
You are saying on a global scale, is it?
On a global scale, not on a global or a national scale. Who is going to be the arbiter? So if you have companies which say that I am the arbiter that I have got a technology which can detect a fake technology, deepfake technology, is he going to be the decider? Who will be the police? Who will be the judge? Whether what that particular arbiter is saying is the truth or false?
Okay.
Okay. When you start examining those things, you will understand there are inherent dangers to this particular new danger globally which we are facing.
Fine,
okay?
Fine. Let me throw this question to SP Ved. I'll come back to you, sir. Mr. Ved, this new question that the good colonel is raising about, whenever there is a deep fake challenge at an international level or even within the country, who is going to decide? I mean, is there a mechanism in place? Is there an authority where we can say, because as of today, if I am right, it has to be, someone has to file a complaint. But every time we cannot wait to file a complaint. What do you have in mind, sir?
I don't think at the moment you have anybody who's an arbitrator who will take a decision that it's a fake or it is a real one. I think ultimately the challenge is who takes a call that it is a real one. We will have to go to tech companies only who are actually operating these systems, and ultimately they will have to take down these things after sensing that these are fake, but by then damage is done.
Right.
So that's why Prime Minister's call to educate people that don't take any video on its face value, because it is going to be a big challenge to both national security, to the crime in the country, to the international relations between the countries, and also political leaders who were, as Colonel Saab was saying, taking whole life for building their reputation. It gets damaged in seconds. So, for example, India has many fault lines, and if some deepfake video like this floats, and by the time communal rights break down between two communities, imagine the damage it has done to that law and order situation of that city or that state.
Fine,
by the
fine.
time,
so are our forces, our police and other paramilitary agencies, are we really ready for this, sir? Very quickly.
To a very large extent, forces are alert to the challenge. There's no doubt about it, and we have been sensitizing our people about this. But I think as technologies evolve, as new systems evolve, the new challenges are coming up, and I think both training of the investigating agencies and the security forces will have to be of facing those challenges. And I think
Fine.
That challenge remains with the police forces.
Absolutely. Subimal Bhattacharya, are we totally dependent on the big tech as of now? There is no such authority or agency which can really decide the authenticity of whether something is deep fake or it is not?
Well, attribution still remains, one of the biggest issues when it comes to, technology and pinpointing where a certain, video actually is prepared, generated, or circulated and all. However, an attempt has been made by the government, to bring this big tech also to task. The particular focus on due diligence when these rules were notified, whether it was in 2021 or even in April this year. And by and large, the tech companies are falling in line. But however, the propensity for such misinformation being spread by a lot of people, including vested interest abroad, and as election and as Mr. Vaid also mentioned, there are many fault lines that we have. People try to exploit this because people want or some vested interest want trouble. So that's
and
in fact, in
the current round of elections, Mr. Bhattacharya, we have learnt of at least half a dozen such videos in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, etc., where in a way deep fake was employed, in order to raise some controversy about people's rivals parties. Thankfully, they didn't carry too much traction and the issue was exposed before it could do much damage. But nevertheless, it has been tried. But very quickly, so I have very little time left with me. In one or two lines, for the benefit of our viewers, what would you say, how can we create awareness and educate our people to be vigilant of this new problem?
I think, Smitaji, for a long time, the awareness campaigns or the alertness level of citizens are being raised due to usage and everything and all. And now the focus on looking at artificial intelligence also closely from a regulatory point of view by many countries is taking shape. India will host the Global Partnership of Artificial Intelligence next month in Delhi, where all the important countries will participate. We just had the London Cyber Meet. The American president just issued the executive order on AI. So a lot of focus is coming on this space.
Yeah, so hopefully when these people put their heads together, we'll be able to, have a clearer picture of the challenge. Coming back to Colonel Pavitran, quickly, just giving the last question to you, sir. We here on Media Scan, we always like to conclude with some forward-looking solution in hand, So from that point of view, I want to know from you, Colonel, how can we better educate our people regarding this new challenge? How do you think the government and other agencies who can help the government in creating awareness for people to be able to discern what is fake, what is genuine, etc.?
Okay, that's an interesting. This is a solution which globally people are trying to look for replies. So to put the whole thing on me might be a tough act. But one thing which I can tell you is Doordarshan can play a lot of role. You can create skits, you can create visual media. Take it to the masses. That's one mass media campaign which is absolutely necessary. Even the Election Commission can work. There are multiple companies working in the fake media. There can be alliance which is created. And I think people will need to fund these companies, create awareness, and Doordarshan, I think, has to, and it might get trust back into traditional media because as of now, alternate media mechanisms, they have, managed to grab more of trust. But this finally might, ensure there is a move back into trusted media and trusted and verified media content.
Okay.
That's all I can say at this point.
Two things I gather that emerge from your comments. So I'll give the last word to Mr. Vaid very quickly in one or two lines, sir. Please tell us, we have seen some mass awareness campaigns in the past, which were, which looked like insurmountable challenges, but we very successfully managed to control them with the great help of mass media. I remember the tuberculosis the anti-tuberculosis campaign. Similarly, the NACO campaign against AIDS. So do you think it is time to start such a mass-scale campaign against artificial intelligence before it becomes a monster?
Smita, it is possible. We had done these campaigns earlier also. You take polio campaign, you take many other campaigns, and I think mass media, particularly the government media, and also we have multiple print, electronic, social media, and all kinds of systems with us. And I think it is possible where every individual of this country can be not only involved in these campaigns, can be educated about the dangers of such technology.
Fine, fine. So I think I'm afraid there are still some issues we need to understand further on this very new and very scary challenge. But perhaps we'll be able to connect with you all one of these weekends and come back to the question. And maybe with the conference scheduled next month, we'll have a more sort of a less scary and a more positive picture in front of us. But on that note, gentlemen, we'll have to put a stop to this conversation for this evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Vaid, Colonel Pavitran and Subimal Bhattacharya. So kind of all of you that you were able to connect with us at such a short notice and share your insight on this very complex issue. Thank you, gentlemen. So viewers, as you just heard our experts who very smartly told us what this new challenge means, how far it can go in destabilizing our peace and stability, but also why there is no need to be scared, because like all other challenges that technology has posed before us, this too can be surmounted with greater awareness and some of the right laws, the right mechanisms in place. On that positive note, it's a wrap up on Media Scan for this evening. Do connect with us next weekend. Till then, namaskar.